I was talking to my grandma a little while back. We were talking about some different things, and she even talked about how big of a deal erosion was back in the 60s, the 70s, when my grandpa was here farming, and how important it was to get rid of, to eliminate erosion. It takes that soil off, and you think about all the soil coming off the hills, there's no way to put it back up there. And we've lost feet of soil. And we only have a limited amount of soil remaining for myself to farm, for my kids to farm. I'm the 6th generation here on our farm, and we want to keep that soil in place and keep it healthy, because that's what grows crops and enables us to do what we do and feed the world. And we want to be able to hand that down to my kids in the 7th generation.
What is it that makes shepherd's grain unique from all the other flours on the store shelves? Well, first, it is the care that our farmers take for the environment, and that's why we start with that. Tillage, the act of disturbing the soil and leaving it prone to erosion, not only decreases its productivity, but it literally causes that productive soil to move from a farmable field to a place where it can't be farmed. And eventually, if soil continues to be lost, you're just left with rock, and we can't farm in bedrock. So when we talk about sustainability, we don't want there to be any confusion as to what it means in an agricultural context. It means farming so that the land stays productive and farmable indefinitely, instead of farming in such a way that we are in a fight against Mother Nature. And the plow is a really great picture of that. Our farmers want to farm within the parameters that Mother Nature has given them. They want to work with nature, not against it. And so for our farmers, the plow is gone, or it now sits in some farming graveyard, retired and getting rusty. We work with 35 farmers in the Pacific Northwest and California and Montana who have committed to going tillage free. Otherwise known as no-till farmers, our growers plant their seeds directly into the previous year's harvested crop. So after harvest, a bunch of straw and chaff is left behind in the field, and our growers just leave it there. They don't disturb the soil, they just plant seeds right into it. Imagine a pizza slicer cutting strips into the field and dropping seeds into that cut. That's what they do. They want to disturb the soil as little as possible. We buy wheat from those 35 farmers and turn it into flour, but we don't want to make a good flour. We want to produce the best flour in the world, and that's not a modest goal, but it is one worth shooting for. We want to make the most flavorful, most consistent, most nutritious flour, and when it comes to wheat and flour quality, we have protocols that cannot be matched in the industry. Our growers only produce varieties of wheat that we have bake tested to assure that they meet the highest quality standards. And then our growers segregate their wheat from everyone else's, and all the way through the milling process, the identity of shepherd's grain wheat is preserved. You can find the code on a bag of shepherd's grain flour, go to the website and plug it in, and you'll see the farmers who produce the wheat in that bag. And it's neat to know who the farmers are, but it's more than that. It's a testament to the fact we know everything about each farmer's wheat and what kind of flour it makes. We know the way that they farm and that it's environmentally friendly. And it's quality management at its best. And not only that, it's accountability, it's transparency. It's a statement that our farmers are willing to put their reputation on the line by basically putting their picture on the product. That's integrity.
If we were to sell it commodity, we would be taking it to our local elevator or down to the river to be shipped out across the world, and it would be blended in with 10s, 20s, 30 different farmers' wheat. We could pay all the attention to detail in the world to grow a high quality wheat, but if we take it to commodity, where it goes to a commodity flour, it just gets mixed in with everybody else's. Shepherd's grain to me and my wife and my family is everything. My dad, who's ran the farm basically by himself for the last 30 years, he was brought into Shepherd's Grain in the mid-2000s, and that's right when I was graduating high school, going into college, and at that time I really didn't have a complete desire to come back and farm. Farming to me it was just taking it to the local elevator, and there was really no tie. I just didn't see the end picture in mind. And when we joined Shepherd's Grain and met the customers that use our flour, that use our wheat, and are so appreciative of the work that we put into Identity Preserve. My wife and I just purchased 2 more grain bins that we're building in this next 3 weeks to help Identity Preserve more grain. It means just everything to know that end user and know that person at the end that's getting it appreciates it. Without Shepherd's Grain, I'm not sure that I would be home farming. It means that much to us, what we're doing, and it's just motivating to go above and beyond to try and raise the highest quality. Like I talked before about raising a commodity grain, it gets mixed in with everybody else's. So I may spend my weekends, my Sundays when my friends are at the lake, I may be out here monitoring my crop, trying to make sure all the weeds are out of it, that it's the highest quality. But in the long run, if it gets mixed in with my neighbors, it doesn't mean anything. It's blended together, and here, Shepherd's Grain, it's tied back to me. Our name is on it, and it means that much more for us to do what we do to raise a high quality crop.
Lastly, there's a strong element of economic sustainability for Shepherd's Grain farmers. They determine what it costs to produce their wheat, and they are paid that price. This is just a completely different pricing system than the normal means. Most of the time, farmers sell their wheat into the commodity market, which is a price determined for them in which they have virtually no control of. It changes all the time. It's very volatile. But we allow our farmers to determine the price that they sell wheat to us based on their actual costs of production, because we want farmers who have decided to farm in environmentally friendly ways to stay in business. And it's as simple as that. Shepherd's Grain is owned by our farmers. So on behalf of them, thank you for supporting us by using and selling our flour. By doing so, you promote true agricultural sustainability.